Salutations everyone, my name is Allan Aldroid, and riddle me this, what's the easiest way of getting gaming knowledge that isn't from the internet because you like making things just a little bit more difficult for yourself?
Gaming magazines, if you couldn't answer my previous question, get a flipping eye test. No matter when you were born, I'm sure many of you have at least dabbled in printed gaming content. Before the internet, this was your go-to method of getting all of your new gaming knowledge. Nowadays, gaming magazines have slightly fallen out of fashion thanks to the rise of the internet. However, I remember having fond memories of going to the local corner shop and buying things such as the official Nintendo magazine or Retro Gamer. I recall having such fun reading about upcoming titles or the history of gaming. If it wasn't for those gaming magazines, I'd have grown up to be a functioning member of society.
Sure, the internet started to push these magazines out of fashion.
Yes, looking up reviews and news online is much more convenient and easier compared to waiting a month and paying £6.99 for a magazine that might not even cover anything that you're particularly interested in. But for me, that's part of the fun. It's like opening a mystery box. I like this, why do I own these now? These magazines had stuff in it for everyone. Comics, news, reviews, sneak peeks, with the best combining almost all of them. Today, let's take a deep dive back in time to review the gaming magazines of yesteryear and unpack what truly made them special. Let's take a trip back in time to 1981 with the first ever gaming magazine released in the UK from Future Publishing, named Computer and Video Games. Damn guys, is that the best you can do? This magazine holds the title of being the longest running video game media brand in the world, running from 1981 to 2004 as physical media, before becoming an online publication for 10 years, before becoming defunct and has since been replaced with Games Radar Plus, another gaming outlet by Future Publishing, meaning that the magazine is well and truly...
Yeah, this is going to start being a recurring theme throughout this episode. Magazines will come and go, unfortunately, with not many of them surviving till the modern day, at least here in the West. The ones that do survive, we'll be getting to them later.
The final remnants of CVG can be seen on their YouTube channel, which is still up, however, also defunct with the rest of the brand.
Most gaming magazines people remember usually dedicated themselves to a certain console/console franchise, with the first one ever being released in Japan. This was called the Family Computer Magazine. Still killing it with the imaginative title, lads.
This magazine focused on the Famicom and the Famicom only, which means, you guessed it, this magazine is also... However, this magazine proved that there definitely was a market for gaming magazines in the 80s, and promptly spawned other companies to throw in their hat, including Nintendo themselves. Thus, arguably the most famous gaming magazine ever was born. Nintendo Fun Club. Before being killed off in favour for some other junk, I don't know. Yes, how could we not talk about Nintendo Power? This magazine had everything and was everything you could want. It was a strategy guide, a news outlet, a comic book, showcase games for all supported Nintendo platforms, Q&A board, a forum, just so much stuff was packed into this magazine. After reading up on some of the Nintendo Power magazines, I can definitely see why people love this series. The strategy guide sections are laid out beautifully with diagrams of the game and even full levels drawn out for the reader. The notes on this strategy guide on Star Fox are displayed in bite-sized paragraphs that anyone of all ages can easily understand and comprehend, making it not feel like a chore to read through or too simplified so it feels like it's been dumbed down for younger readers. In the randomized issues I've read of Nintendo Power, their strategy guide sections were all pretty similarly laid out like this, and I adore it. A simple blend of in-depth and easy to read. The magazine was also known for showing sneak previews of upcoming releases for the Nintendo consoles, such as issue 84 showing off some work in progress shots for the Mission Impossible game. I never thought I'd see the phrase high-tech dream machine being used to describe the Nintendo 64. Reading these sections and learning about games development was something I loved to read when I used to religiously buy these magazines, and reading them but for older titles and older consoles makes me feel kind of nostalgic. It might just be a me thing, but this is something I love to do, so naturally I'm gonna love reading it here. A couple of magazines I remember buying that taught me how games were developed were PC Gamer and Retro Gamer.
Oh, this is getting ridiculous. How hard is it to come up with a memorable title for your gaming magazine? Like, I don't know, G-Force.
Imagine asking your parents for G-Force expecting a gaming magazine only to be greeted with this. Well, of course you're going to be getting this. This magazine was discontinued in 2003, you moron. Retro Gamer was the magazine I read to learn so much about gaming's history and the creators behind some of the most iconic titles today. I distinctly remember owning issue 147 and learning about the making of Tomb Raider and the history of Splatterhouse, two games I immediately added to my list of games I need to play. They are still on my list of games I need to play. This magazine also had the works from strategy guides to news stories, but no comic strip.
Not the comic strip!
They would also celebrate landmarks in gaming history such as anniversaries for beloved franchises by looking back at their origins to today. When reading these, you can definitely feel the passion behind it, the love the writer has for these games instead of just picking up a paycheck. Hang on, wasn't I supposed to be talking about Nintendo Power? This does kind of feel like a really long side tangent. Which reminds me of a story that happened to me once. There is one thing about Nintendo Power that people absolutely adore, a staple that helped Nintendo Power be as memorable as it is today, and something that people will hold dear to their hearts. The comic strip, namely the Super Mario Adventures comics. The art style for this comic strip is so beautiful, keeping the Mario Brothers faithful to how they look in promotional art for the games, but also letting them be so expressive and dynamic. The comic is drawn in such a lovely anime-esque art style that's just so wonderful to look at. I'm currently on issue 2 of the comic strip at the moment, so don't give me any spoilers, goddammit. Mario isn't the only one to get a comic. Other Nintendo brands got a few comics dedicated to them, such as Star Fox, Legend of Zelda, Star Wars. Nintendo Power lasted from 1988 to 2007 in the US, but issues can be still found online through archives, so if you're interested, I definitely suggest you take a look at them. Gaming magazines highlight an amazing time for me growing up. They were so fun to pick up and read, flicking to the parts I was interested in reading, but it's such a shame that a lot of the ones I remember reading are sadly discontinued. I remember picking up the official Nintendo magazine from the post office every month or so and had a blast reading about the latest news or current games out now and if they're worth buying, until one day I picked it up and the final page had a lovely drawn image from Miyamoto himself, thanking the reader for supporting the official Nintendo magazine. While the internet makes reading this type of stuff easier, these magazines will always have a place in my heart. And there we have it, ladies and gentle gamers. Gaming magazines ranging from the originals to the memorables. I know I missed out on quite a few and I apologise for that. I only really want to talk about the ones that I personally remember reading, or ones that interested me, so I wasn't just rambling about magazines just for the sake of rambling about magazines. And I think that's it. I don't really have anything else to talk about except for no! If you live in the UK and haven't seen this when you've been grocery shopping lurking in the shadows, I envy you. 110% Gaming is this magazine that I always see constantly. Every time I go grocery shopping at the supermarket, it's always there. Every time I walk past the magazine section, no other gaming magazines I see there anymore except for this thing. So why don't we check it out? After opening the package, I was greeted with not only a magazine, but 2 extra freebies, a charging cable and a pair of Pro Gamer headphones. After trying these headphones for a while, I can tell you for sure that the quality of them is They're not great, but they're free, so I'm not complaining. There's another type of gaming magazine which I haven't bothered to talk about yet, which is obviously the children's gaming magazines, because I haven't read any. Well, that's a lie now. I am reading this. So right off the bat, I can tell this is some kind of Halloween edition, because you see Minecraft Ghostbusters, something that would get any 9-year-old kid excited. 110% unofficial Pokemon magazine inside. If only I cared about Pokemon. An Ultimate Ecto 1 build in Minecraft. Cool. I don't care. And Among Us top tips. Suss them. How Roblox success study. Here we go. If Roblox no longer existed, you would die. I mean, there's always so much I can talk about it without the argument coming up that yes, this is a children's magazine, it can be bright, colourful and child-oriented because that is the demographic, children. Still not going to stop me from ripping into it. YouTube news. Oh! Dan TDM gets a YouTubes. We're dancing. Is that it for the YouTubers? Where's me?
Yeah, sure. Oh, here we go. The Ghostbusters section from Minecraft. Bust ghasts in this epic Ecto 1 build. Where's the download link? There's no download link. It's just an image. The front cover thing, Ghostbusters Minecraft Ultimate Ecto 1 build. It's just an image of the Ecto 1 but in Minecraft. That's it. There is no page afterwards that like says how to build it. It's just that. No download link, no anything. What 9-year-old gets excited from seeing a picture of a Minecraft Ecto 1? I could just go on Google for that. And we end with Minecraft Dungeons. A very grainy image of Minecraft Dungeons. That was dreadful.
While the golden era of gaming magazines may be gone, I still believe they have a place in modern day. Retro Gamer and PC Gamer were magazines I loved growing up, and they're still around today. There is still a market for gaming magazines, and I couldn't be more happier. While some fan favourites may be gone, let's just hope that gaming magazines won't be going for a long time.